Hey, this ThinkerThunker. Look at this hulking beast here. I mean, just imagine for a second that it really is real. I mean, we're looking at like a one-man pro football team right there. And judging by the fact that it's got not but one, but two little infants glued to its hip there, means it's probably a female. But my money would still be on her. So I'm going to show you something interesting about these little infants. And I'm also going to prove to you in this video that whatever this is, it could not possibly be a human in a monkey suit, which also means that the odds of it being AI or CGI are like 1 in a billion. So let's check it out. Okay, first, let's take a quick look at these two alleged little infants here. So first thing I'm going to do is jack the brightness way up, and then start playing with the contrast there. And boy, when I do that, the two little figures really pop out. And so now we can see what appears to be a little profile there and a little head, and at least what appears to be a little ear right there. I mean, at least it's in the right spot. And then we see what appears to be a little wrinkly, fat arm there, fat furry arm, reaching out and hanging on to the fur of mom or dad or big sis or whatever caregiver this might be. And then it comes down to what appears to be its left leg and knee. And while we can't see it, at least I can't, there would have to be a rear foot, like most all primates' feet, that would be capable of hanging on to fur or limbs, something like that. And then it appears there's the bend and there's its rear. So something like that. And then on the other side, we see another little head right there. It, like this one, is turned to the outside, turned to the right, which would make sense. As mom walks along, it wants to be able to look out and see what's going on. And then it comes back down to its back leg, something like that. And again, up to a little arm hanging on. So, some of you are going to want to say, give me a break. These are just two little stuffed gorilla figures that they Velcroed on to a monkey suit. Voila, there it is. And I would say for anybody who believes that, the burden of proof sits squarely on your shoulders to prove that to the rest of us. I mean, if you can find a monkey suit that looks like this and two little stuffed baby gorilla figures or whatever that look like this with little arms and articulated hands that could be meant to look like they're hanging on, then you might have something. But until you can find all of this and demonstrate it to the rest of us, we don't believe you. And what's incredible is that we have seen this before. This is a video I covered 9 years ago. It was filmed by a guy way up in the Pacific Northwest. It's a YouTuber by the name of Timber Giant Bigfoot. Go check out his stuff, amazing stuff. And what he filmed was something, this big, giant, furry red thing sitting out in the trees. It was out there like cracking nuts, eating fruit, and it had what appeared to be a little baby on its head, on its big, giant head. And to illustrate that, I dropped in this second picture of a gorilla over here on the right, mama gorilla with baby turned around backwards, just up on her back, hanging on for dear life with hands and feet. So again, a known primate trait, and now we've seen it at least twice demonstrated by a big, giant, furry, unknown species here in North America. The next thing I wanted to do is just measure this thing and see if it even could be a human in a monkey suit. So what I did, I did this bright green outline around the figure so that we could see what we were dealing with here. And then I dropped in a human 3D skeleton. And I'll tell you, I had to. This thing is posable. I've got it posed as close as I can to at least fit within the green outline. And I can tell you, I had to pretty much radically rescale this human skeleton to make it fit within this green line here. And here is the pose that I came up with. It's walking pose, something like that. All right, so here we go. Place your bets time. Is today's mystery figure just a dude in a monkey suit, or does it instead have something profound in common with the Roger Patterson forest giant? So to determine that, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to lose the outline there. And here is the skeleton, the human 3D skeleton that I radically rescaled and transformed just to make it fit our mystery figure as closely as possible. And next, I measured that skeleton going from major body joint down to major body joint, from the base of its neck down to the tip of its tailbone right there, if in fact this species does have a tailbone. And then, of course, its arms and the legs. It's the 3 longest measurements you can take on a figure like this. And so just looking at this, it's impossible to tell whether it is a human or a forest giant. And the reason is we humans stink at judging body proportions, among other things like that. So to make it easier, I took all 6 of these measurement bars and pulled them over here to the side, put them in a chart so that we could see how its limbs and torso all relate to one another. And so now we can clearly see that whatever this thing is, it has a torso and arms and legs all the same relative length. And guess what? You don't. And for comparison's sake, here is a human skeleton. This is one of these skeletons that they sell to, say, universities, laboratories, clinics, schools, things like that. They are extremely expensive and are extremely accurate and precise. And so I measured this guy the exact same way. And now here are the human measurements over here. We'll call it red team. And let me zoom green team and red team in so that you can study them. Are you able to see the difference in the 2 bar charts? Of course you can. Green team, again, has the torso, arms, and legs all the same relative length. Whereas, look at we humans. We have these astoundingly long legs compared to our own torso and arms. And by the way, your body proportions don't change just because you put on a monkey suit. You can't put on a monkey suit and suddenly your legs that were 30% longer are now the same length as your torso and arms. That's impossible. You can't put on a monkey suit and suddenly your torso and arms grow out by 20%. That is impossible. If you would like to know more about my species identification system, I wrote a book called Solved. It's out on Amazon right now. Go check it out. And just so that you can see that our Delaware mystery figure here, that its proportions aren't just some fluke, I'm going to drop in the Patterson Bigfoot, which I flipped around the other way, just so that you can see that both of these figures lean when they walk. It's a known trait that I've written about and made countless videos about. And I measured Patty the exact same way. And here are Patty's body proportions. I call these proportional DNA charts, or pDNA charts. Look at the 2 charts. Would you say they are close to the same, entirely different? And a child could tell you that they are practically identical. We're seeing a species here that has a torso, arms, and legs all the same relative length. There's not another species on the planet, especially no large primate, that has body proportions even remotely close to these. Okay, so I've proved this could not possibly be a human in a monkey suit. So what about AI? I mean, that's a new favorite for skeptics. Anything they don't understand or comprehend, they love to claim that it's AI. So could this be AI? And the answer is no. Look right down here. And by the way, this video was posted by The Unexplained with Adam. Come give him a subscribe and a like. It says right here, this photo was taken back in 1997. So sorry, geniuses, but there was no AI back in 1997. And nope, it wasn't CGI. We didn't start seeing furry, animated, 3D animated figures until 4 years after the Delaware mystery figure in a massive Hollywood budget movie called Monsters, Inc. Plus, I didn't start releasing my findings, my proportional DNA findings on the exact body proportions of the Patterson Bigfoot until about 2022, 2023. So for this to be CGI, that would mean that there was some rogue CGI genius that was 30 years ahead of Hollywood and 30 years ahead of me. So it wasn't CGI, wasn't AI, and wasn't some dude in a monkey suit. So wrapping up here, take another look now based on all that you know, all we've covered here. Look at this hulking figure again. I mean, that is one superhuman mom there out getting it done at whatever time of night it is. Got the kid strapped on her hip, hanging on for dear life. There's no fast food joints for her to stop at and grab some food. There is no Grubhub. Everything they eat, she either catches, captures, like digs from the ground. You talk about a hard life, and she does it day in, day out for life. Freezing cold temperatures, burning hot. This is a truly superhuman species that amazingly can just elude the hell out of us humans and the best technologies we have. This is a truly incredible species, and the best we can come up with to call them is Bigfoot. I mean, what a travesty. They deserve so much more. They at least deserved by governments around the world to be acknowledged as a species and have some protection, just some protection for them and their lands. And that is my goal with all of this. So thank you guys for watching this. I think normally I don't like to do photographs anymore, but I thought this was an exceptional photograph. Could I still be wrong? I suppose that's possible, but boy, it is going to take some impressive proof to turn this around. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Special thanks as always to my patrons and YouTube members. Their monthly support makes all the research I do and the time I spend making all these videos possible. Thank you guys so very much. Take care.